Liquid banned Mirror, and the Bootkamp bans were generally a mix of Maestro and Mirror, so I feel like they're going to be two familiar bans throughout this in terms of defenders. Attackers, neither of them really like Ying or Buck. But Maverick is the first off the board for, I believe, the first time he's been banned.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a pretty common ban on Clubhouse as well, and I'm expecting Liquid to ban out the Lion here. So, yeah, there's no real surprises, though, with the Maverick getting banned out there from Bootkamp, especially because they are on the defense first. That is probably going to make them favor that server's hold just a little bit more, though. It's actually going to be the IQ ban, fairly surprisingly coming out from Liquid, so Lion is going to be on the board here as Liquid ban out their first defender. I would imagine the Maestro, but I do know that Liquid do like a little bit of Maestro, so maybe an Echo being brought here.
Yeah, I mean, it could be either, really. There's always smoke. So, do they want to exploit that Oregon attack set? They want to definitely try, and I expect to see pushes down Dirt Tunnel against Church, at least, because with the smoke off the board, it's not easy, but it's easier.
Yeah, it can be easier indeed. We'll see the last ban coming out here from Bootkamp Gaming. I still think there's going to be an Echo or Maestro, but that smoke was a very, very weird ban. But we'll see how it goes down as we do see Valkyrie actually move on the board. So, very weird bans coming down indeed. I mean, Valkyrie and Smoke make sense as bans.
Yeah.
Because you don't want the defenders to have them. But, it's so essential to a defense that I really wouldn't have thought that, especially the smoke, is going to be coming off the board here.
I'm kind of excited. It's nice when teams decide to roll with, because you can describe them as fresh ban sets because we're so familiar to seeing certain operators and their ban rates. And sometimes, yes, those will get stretched. They'll ban someone that's often deemed slightly less standard as a ban. But to see generally big non-standard bans taken off in an entire game really can push the creative mold of how these guys can play. And LATAM as a region is exceptionally creative on the fly.
It's also interesting to see that there's a Maverick ban, but we're not seeing CCTV servers, first of all, which you really would expect. But maybe Church Arsenal definitely is a fair bet. We're actually going to see the Mirror being brought here. I mean, Mirror is good on Clubhouse, but she's one of those operators that isn't actually essential.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Obviously, she's one of those ones. Mirror, she revolutionized the play. She revolutionized defenses in the games across the game. She was a global operator but not in like a bad way. But at the same time, there's certain places and certain points where she can really make or break a defense. And this is one where, yeah, there's a couple of nice places you have a mirror. There's a couple of nice places you have those sight lines. But there's no like game-changing ones, you could say. So it'll be interesting to see how Paolu plays it. But good note about Paolu, actually. He had one of the best KDs coming into this. He went 35-17 in the previous setup. He even was one of the planters as well. Out of only 3 plants for Bootkamp to put down, he was one of them, which, you know, says a lot about the play style of these guys. But at the same time, he's going to be one to watch for in this.
Definitely one for watch for. You're actually going to see Intact on a bit of a roam here using the 4 Echo drone just to be a little bit of a help to him. We see this strategy a little bit, but maybe not so much on Clubhouse, where you have the Echo drone coming through with the roam game. And the reason I find it kind of weird on Garage, because the drone hole is actually blocked there. So he has actually managed to open up a little bit of a rotate hole, but that still does fairly limit your options here. And Intact is going to slowly move back into Cash Room. Maybe he's trying to bait Liquid into following upstairs.
There's potential there. You can see the drones coming from the other side, but he does have one of Boar's Echo drones backing up. And that was recently moved, so they are trying to bring a fight upstairs. But how much of a fight, I guess they're going to see. Already you can see Bullets drones going up there as well. They're throwing a lot of drones and a lot of utility. And importantly, arguably the most important job of any roamer, time. A lot of time is being sent up to those 2 rooms.
A lot of time indeed, but no pick for Liquid just yet, as Nesk does manage to make his way through all the way in. The Echo drone just being wasted there. Not really a lot of intel being used there at all, but IQ going to be not used here at all because, of course, she is banned. So it's going to mean that Echo and Legion are going to be so much more effective here. Liquid still trying to pincer out Intact here. So he tries to move all the way through, but it's going to be Intact who scores the first kill. Takes down PSK, one of his aggressors, and it's going to be Sexy tries to refrag, but it is going to be Nesk who doesn't manage to do so. Intact goes down, but does manage to take down Zig. So that's already the hard breacher off the table. The only hard breacher available to Liquid is already down.
And that's a minute left. They've brought the fight all the way upstairs. You're 2 floors away from a point that is often cited as one where you don't really need to roam because it's so big and wide. And yet, Bootkamp are drawing Liquid upstairs and pulling them to fight and then picking them off. Yeah, you lose your roamers, sure. But as you said, that's the hard destruction gun. That's the Thatcher gun on a point like this where they didn't even look like they'd pushed drop downs or hatches yet.
No, it's not looking good for them at all. Nesk is going to be falling to Palu. Not looking too good for them at all. Bullet going to go down. It's going to be all into the hands of Sexy Cake. He's just managed to cover the diffuser. And it's actually Soft Hatch. He jumps all the way down, but doesn't see that Duds is just sat there right under the hatch waiting to do such a thing. Bootkamp Gaming take round number 1 in a very impressive but very aggressive clubhouse defense.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, you rarely see that hatch non-reinforced. To have that as a soft hatch left over, you've got to have a lot of trust and a lot of faith in your roamers. And to be fair, it pulled it off.
They did pull it off. Really well played by Intact as well. Just with everything that he did there, he wasted so much time. And I feel like Liquid have kind of shot themselves in the foot with this IQ ban because without an Echo ban to back it up as well, this is really devastated, especially when you're starting out on the attack, because I really don't think you're going to win most of these. But we are going to see Sexy Cake bring in the Lion for the first time this series. And yeah, Lion, very, very hard to deal with. Although we did see Lion not get banned in a previous match, but we didn't really see him be used that effectively.
No, yeah, the last time we saw Lion out and about, flexing his claws, they weren't great. He struggled. He couldn't quite find his groove. But also, another one that's normally banned out is Clash, showing up now as well.
Yeah, Clash is definitely going to make an appearance here, which is interesting indeed from coming out from Bootkamp. We'll see exactly how they manage to utilize it as we get into round number 2 now. I'm actually going to see a gym bedroom defense, but without a castle. However, maybe with the addition of Clash in here, that's actually not going to matter to me.
No, that's the thing. Clash played well. A Clash on a good shield player's hands becomes an almost rotating castle. He's so good at blocking entrances and feeding information. We've, on this very point, seen Clash played before, where she just kind of stacks up on that CCTV window and looks across the kind of just the bow of this entire point and just feeds all that information to the players. And really, just having that there, watching you and knowing they're feeding information makes it a lot harder to push on.
A lot harder to push on indeed, and just having M-King in this position right onto the top of the garage is so hard to get him out of it. But Bullet does a little bit of drone parkour. He's going to be able to find his way on here. But as we say pretty much every time with having a Clash, her effectiveness on the roam very much depends on the roamer who's playing with her.
Yeah, the old way of looking at it is when you're attacking, you've got Monty, and you think, well, who can I put on the shoulder of Monty? And you've got to kind of bring that logic to the roaming Clash. She's got to have someone nearby. Don't get me wrong. She has the ability to swap to a secondary, which, you know, that's being nerfed in times of speed, but this is exactly what I said she'd be doing. She's feeding all that information, and you can see that they're thinking, but we've got to get her out of here. We've got to take this. And at the same point, as Sternep has said, you can see someone creeping to her shoulder, ready to start putting some aggression from that side as well.
There is going to be the drone from Ball that does manage to spot out everything that's going on. Flashbangs do go out, but Intact finds the first kill of the round. Zig already out of it. Again, the only hard breacher from Liquid gone. As Nesk does manage to refrag, takes down M-King. The Clash already off the board, but does find one of his own. PSK off the board as well. Zofia going down. These are some big picks going down for Bootkamp. Very important indeed, but already losing your Clash, potentially devastating as we move further in here. Lion charges do go out. And Palu's just going to go for the pre-fire down into Logistics to see if he can get a lucky wallbang. Doesn't get anything going down just yet. Pings are going to come out. Flashbangs go out as well. As Intact rotates around onto Logistics to see if he can get a pick. But Candel's going to go out from Nesk. He just proceeds all the way into the site to see what he can do right now. But he goes down. How do you not win the fight? Bullet takes him down, but Sexy instantly trades it out. And that's a 2v2 now as Bullet finds one of his own. That's a 2v2, but Palu with a beautiful kill into Sexy Cake, the sneaky snake. But not able to find a kill just yet. Bullet is going to be pushing through onto construction. He knows they're both in there. But he doesn't have control of the fuser. He's going to have to try and go back a little bit into GM to see if he wants to recover that. And we'll see how he does with that just yet. 35 seconds left to go on the clock. He will destroy the barbed wire outside construction. Start to push inside slowly. What a shot from Bullet. Takes the head clean out of Palu. He knows the other one of Duds is in there as well. Tries to quick peek it. Tries to do this little bit peeking strategy, but cannot win the fight. Duds takes him down. Bootkamp Gaming take round number 2, but a much closer defense.
Now, we know that Liquid have kind of shown up in their previous game. Obviously, they pulled a map against FaZe. Both of these teams obviously already lost one. They pulled a map against FaZe, though. Bootkamp pulled a map against the Models. But when Liquid did pull their map against FaZe, they started off on the back foot. They started a little bit slow. And in a way, they kind of started how they're doing here, where they're losing a couple of fights where you just generally don't expect them to lose. Obviously, we saw Nesk pushing into the bathroom. Was new, dead forward push as well, straight against the Legion, but lost it. But at the same time, by the end of that very same map, the picks that they were getting were out of this world. And if I'm honest, I kind of expect that same progression from Liquid again today. I expect them to start a little bit shaky, but when they start getting momentum and when they start finding those picks, the unbelievable frag potential from these guys is off the charts.
Definitely. Let's move through now into round number 3, and we'll see the third defense coming out from Bootkamp Gaming, who have managed to find so many early picks onto this Liquid attack.
Yeah, that's the thing. Bootkamp, they're really kind of locking it out. They seem very comfortable with these points, and very comfortable with their strategies as well, because you can see they're kind of setting up, and they're working them. They're working around their setups, they're working around their defense. Obviously, that one came down to a 1 versus 1. And you could say Duds got kind of lucky against some of those glass shots, but again, luck's only a part of it. It was also some good play, good movement, and good fragging.
Yeah, pretty good fragging coming out from them indeed. Let's see who goes down to move to round number 3. But without the Maverick here, this is going to be pretty hard to hold on to while the attackers actually get in here and make their attack, especially with no Hibana coming out as well from them. Because I would really expect a Hibana to just try and breach the top of the garage and try and cover the rotate. And with a Clash here as well.
I was about to say, interesting to see how the Clash plays against that, because Clash, again, it can be so useful as an operator, as an ability. She just can lock down so much movement. And you can see where she is in the top of those garage stairs. The range on her zap.
Oh, Bullet, how do you lose the
Yeah,
fight?
that's why I stopped talking. That was, you could see it about to happen. Like watching a car crash, you couldn't take away. Brilliant shooting there. But the way she can hold those stairs is the zap range is actually pretty much long enough to get to the bottom of that ladder at the minute, or the bottom of that staircase. So it really just stops them getting in through garage.
Yeah, and you stack that on with the fact that normally there's quite a lot of barbed wire that's going down on these stairs, which M-King hasn't actually deployed yet. But he's actually going to rotate all the way down through Oil Pit and into Utility, into Blue, and see what he can do there instead. But meanwhile, Zig is going to rotate onto the East Roof, drawing it all out, making sure there's no Bandit there, but there will inevitably be Bandit charges there as Palu finds the second kill for BK. They're looking so good for them already, the Ying and the Glass off the table. Beautiful picks coming out so far, and again, Liquid losing so many early gunfights unnecessarily.
See Sexy Cakes trying to pick those fights against the Clash. Beautiful attempt there, but that is when Clash starts to show up and just finish the kill. Sexy Cake hunted down that Clash and is now big take off the board. 3 against 4. But again, Liquid are starting to pick up and wake up.
Yeah, Sexy Cake not allowing Clash to just get away with all of that. M-King goes down so early on. Yet again, M-King not making too good use out of the Clash here, but it's not making too much because he is wasting time. And there's not actually too much of that on the board here left. The attackers of Liquid. And Sexy Cake trying to find that desperate pick onto Palu, but it's going to be the Thermite Wall that gets opened up. He's going to have to retreat all the way back into CC to see what he can do here instead. Bull's Echo Drone still on the board, however. And Intact has retreated back to the side. Duds all the way back downstairs. Maybe looking for a flank maneuver here. as the rest of Liquid start to push in slowly onto the site. But they haven't got a lot of utility left. It's only 50 seconds left on the board. Not looking too good for them.
Yeah, no, they do have a little bit of rotate option, as in they could go to the window, but you can see Duds is creeping around slowly and steadily. It is being watched from 2 angles, and Duds was just shut down instantly. 3 versus 3, good idea, but Liquid are not falling for that.
Pretty good shot coming out there from PSK as we move into round number 3s. Just 20 seconds left to go. Flashbangs is going out all the way into the site, burning all those ADS and making sure there's none of them there. Palu takes down the Thermite, but can't find another one. PSK takes down Palu in a nice trade, but Sexy Cake is actually injured. Could use the withstand here. PSK takes down Bull, and there's 5 seconds left to go. The diffuser is not going down. PSK really has to put it down. Sexy Cake is not withstanding, but no, he looks like he will do. He will go down, but the plant has to go down, and there's a clutch from Intact. 2v1 into a 1v0. Bootkamp Gaming take round number 3, and all their defense is looking flawless so far.
Well, you do think at that point whether they both should have gone for the frag. Obviously got the revive, which, yeah, is a good thing to do, get your Zofia up. But then you knew Intact was straight there. As soon as those bullets start flying against your Zofia, you look up and you try and shoot for the frag. That entire wall was unreinforced, and that could have been a very easy pick-off for Liquid.
It could have been a very easy pick-off indeed. Let's move through into round number 4 and see how it's going to go down. As we will see us going down, as we'll see Church House on room defense.
We fall 2 stories down, and Vigil is potentially showing up alongside Pulse. Now, obviously, last time they held us, they were very, very wide on the roam. Top floor, Intact, as we said, did a brilliant game on the Legion, really slowed them down. Duds was there to back it up as well. But are they going to be able to get away with that this time, or are Liquid going to be a little bit quicker? As we said before, Liquid, they're a team that they start building momentum, they start finding their feet, and then they become kind of hard to stop. So it might not be able to waste as much time as it did the first time.
Maybe not. We'll see how it goes down. I think that Liquid, hopefully taking the attitude of, fool me once, shame on me, but fool me twice. We won't get fooled again. We'll see how it goes down as Bootkamp are actually going to reinforce that kitchen hatch.
That's, I mean, there's so many decisions in Siege where you say, this is a creative decision, this is a team decision, this is a plan decision. I think this one is one of those rare ones where you just call it a good decision. I think it's so exceptionally rare for there to really ever be a purpose to leave that unreinforced.
Definitely. We'll see how it goes down as we move into round number 4's action phase now. See how Liquid want to take this on the attack, but I think this is going to be a much more conservative defense coming out from Bootkamp now.
Yeah, I think they've pushed the kind of boat, they've pushed the aggression against Liquid, and it's worked. But what you kind of got to do is you got to think, well, they're going to be expecting stuff like that. We've got to try and lure them into traps. We've got to catch them off guard as defenders, and you can instantly see, as we said, they're not throwing anyone upstairs anymore. This isn't a point where you specifically need roamers. It's so wide, there's so many entrances, and there's so many different angles and directions to cover at once. Roamers can work. They can work brilliantly. We've seen it work brilliantly. However, when stuff starts falling against it, you want as many bodies on that point as possible.
You definitely do. It's going to be Bull's Echo Drone holding down to Dirt, but Zofia is going to be able to find one. What? Intact goes down so early on. Beautiful pick coming out from Nesk as the line charges do go out, and Nesk slowly starts to make his way down. They're expecting the impact trick coming out here, but it's not going to happen because there's no impacts left, I don't think. I think M-King does have impacts, but he's not on the site. And this is a disaster so far for Bootkamp. They've already lost one of their most important fraggers.
I saw that it looked like Ball might have been playing a little bit off, but I think he's rotated back around now. It's the Echo, so there's a bold choice to play Echo off point, really. You kind of want him as close. M-King has rotated a little bit back to cover Dirt as well. You can see PSK, they are still concerned about that top floor. Nesk through the floor. Nesk, what a player. As we said, he is starting to show that with some beautiful picks as Palu drops the Twitch drone, but the Twitch drone gets the mirror.
Be holding it all down. Sexy King gonna find that entry kill onto Palu, but M-King takes down Nesk. He's just holding down this beautiful pixel angle, but does get detected by the EU1D. Flashbangs are gonna go out in return, and impact nades are coming out, but Sexy King gets all the way up. Very dangerous for him, but he still wins the fight. It's all down to Boar now in a 1v4. The diffuser does go down successfully despite his best efforts. He can't hit the shots. Bullet takes him down. Team Liquid take round number 4 and their first round this series.
So we said they're a sleeping giant, Team Liquid, a lot of the time, but as soon as they find that momentum, as soon as they find those frags, this is what we see. It looked like Sexy Cake fell into getting that kill at the end there against M King, and it was just beautiful, kind of the combination of these guys as fraggers, and then when things start to fall together, it becomes violent art. And Bootkamp, they've got to stop it for one more round.
They've definitely got to try and stop it here. Let's see how it goes down. Let's move into round number 5. And this is going to be the final attack for Liquid now. And Nesk is playing on the Ashe.
Now, they have decided to rotate anyway. Obviously, they could have gone back to Armory Church, but they've gone, nope, let's play Gym Bedroom, let's play upstairs. And M King is bringing the Cav.
I always feel like Zofia is kind of like the Star Trek. The Star Trek The New Generation to Ashe as being Star Trek. You know, in some ways, much superior to the original, but will never be quite considered.
I was quite curious about where you were going with that point.
Well, you know,
and you got a few looks from the production staff, and whether they're looks of agreement or disgust about their opinions of Star Trek, I guess you're going to find out when we finish casting today, and they're in your ear about it. But I'll leave that for chat and them to sort out. I'm not going to put any into that hornet's nest.
But what I mean by that is that Zofia brings so much more utility to the table.
Yeah.
But Ashe is still recognized as one of the best fragging roles that you could possibly bring to the table here. And M King is going to be bringing on the Caviera for the first time in the series. And the first time today, actually. But we've also seen a surprising amount of Cav.
We saw an interrogation as Cav on Bank. And it was the second interrogation I think I've ever seen at this tier of play. And it was just as exciting as the first. So it's always good to see Cav. I mean, you don't normally expect interrogations at this tier. You don't really expect that play. Normally it's a down and an impact just to clean up kills. Obviously, play against the roam game, keep them guessing. But at the same time, hey, you never know how it's going to come to fruition.
No, you never do. No, indeed. Intat's going for a pretty brave strategy here, although it may just work out for him. There's not really too much that Liquid can bring here to destroy this. Especially talking about the shield here, but the ADS are going to get burned. PSK just droning out the situation to be able to see what's going down. Indeed, Intact is not looking too good here now, as the ADS is slowly going to get burned, but the pistol shots are going to come out from Cav. But Intact's shield goes down, but Nesk gets the kill, and it does. Beautifully played there from Nesk. That's going to be turned into a 4v5 already. I'm not sure what M King really hopes to achieve here. And yeah, he is going to rotate out.
Yeah, there was a lot of varied pistol. Palu finds Sexy Cake in the mix of that, but a lot of spraying pistol towards what was a lot of flashes. And obviously the bandit trick's gone down. Jacuzzi is now open. And this is going to make it a much harder hold. It's such an important wall to drop as Bullet himself drops from Liquid as well.
Yeah, not looking too good though for Bootkamp. They are starting to lose quite a lot of control of the areas now. Utility's being burned everywhere that it can, and Bootkamp's strategy's kind of falling apart, but it's going to be up to Liquid to try and bring this in just a little bit. Bull going to be pushing around and see what he can do, but Liquid do start their execute. Next space his way into the side, but Palu instantly punishes him for it. Takes him down, turns it into a 2v4. Now not looking too good for Liquid, because now they don't have too much utility on the board to bring this in. M King will just peek with the Cav pistol, and Zig will take him down easily as that. 2v3 situation now, not looking too good for Liquid still, as Palu takes down PSK, and Intact finishes off with a beautiful headshot to Zig. Bootkamp Gaming take round number 5, looking very, very strong on these defenses.
Now, obviously, they took the round in the end, so there's only so much you can say. However, I do kind of question the Cav's usage in that round there. I mean, I guess you found out they're all stacked up on Jacuzzi. You generally need to keep it covered, but firing random pistol shots that didn't seem to obviously be doing too much against these guys, which you know are very good fraggers. So if you don't drop them quickly, they're just going to swing and drop you. I mean, that's how they wanted to play it. That's how they played it. There's only so much you can say about that.
The problem is that Clubhouse is a very defense-oriented map, no matter what the op bans. And even though we've had some very interesting op bans, I still think this is fairly defense-oriented, especially because Maverick has been banned.
Yeah, I mean, Maverick off the board on this kind of map, where there's these kind of walls and these kind of holds that you know teams like to run, is a big loss for sure. But it will be interesting to see how they decide to play. Obviously, they're taking Church and Arsenal with both a Mew and a Bandit. So what they're going to, where they're going to kind of place this, whether they're going to try and, well, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where this place is, I think, more than anything.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes then. As we do move into round number 6, it will be the first attack coming up for Bootkamp.
Now, obviously, they have the Echo, and we've seen Echo used fairly effectively as information gathering and intel gathering so far this game. The only times we've really seen the actual drone fired, we kind of threw it away a little bit. It's been good for information, but instantly picked off by the Zofia beforehand. You've seen it. So it'll be nice to see how Zig, who is quite a big core of Liquid, the Echo.
Maybe. But, I mean, I've noticed in the past that when Liquid have banned smoke, or when smoke isn't available, or when they're already running a smoke, or they're running smoke FMG9, that Echo will run shotgun, and Zig will happily take up that role, and he's honestly had a good history of playing quite well on that role. I mean, I saw a very similar situation during the last OGA pit, and yeah, Zig did pretty well on Echo shotgun, so I think that he can do pretty confidently this role.
See that still digging away the roof. The first E1D has popped very quickly. Lion M King already making the entrance via garage storage. Palu looking for the frag on the roam as Nesk takes down Intact. Buck on the rotation, trying to catch out the Jaeger, but Jaeger is having none of it.
Yeah, Nesk finds a double kill there. Palu goes down as well, but does instantly that to trading back with Nesk! Beautiful shot, takes down Duds with a headshot. That's a 2v4 situation. Nesk just decimating the effectiveness of the attack here for Bootkamp. Team Liquid looking pretty strong right now as M King tries to make his way into the site, trying to desperately scout out where anyone can be. Still has 3 flashbangs, still has 1 E, 1 D, of course, as well. As he's going to go for those pre-fires, see what he can do here, but we're not going to see too much situational awareness from M King just yet, as the E1D does go out. Starts to push in, looking for those Legion mines, does manage to take it down, but Nesk with his 4th kill takes down Boar, and he's looking for the ace. All down to M King now, and not looking too good for him at all. He's going to try and rotate out. He does not have control of the diffuser, remember. He's going to try and see if he can go somewhere else instead, but Nesk, skilly expecting this, the revolver comes out, but Nesk with the ace. Takes out M King with a headshot, and Team Liquid take round number 6 in beautiful fashion.
That is the second ace we've seen. The first was PX on border with Doc versus Bootkamp. The second is Nesk with the Jaeger versus Bootkamp. They have suffered the ace twice.
And if anything, you know, if someone's getting an ace when there's still plenty of operators on the board both ways, shows that you can't really refrag.
No, that's the thing. Nesk is one of those players we said at the beginning, a good roamer. It's not about the kills you get, it's about slowing, it's about eating utility and eating time, which Intact did very well. And then Nesk just kind of gave a masterclass of, well, why don't you get the frags?
Why don't you? We'll see how it goes out as we see a CCTV cash room defense coming out from Liquid, and this should be one of the most powerful defenses coming out across all of them, especially with the Maverick ban. We'll see how it goes down. You know, so this was surprisingly close when we saw Bootkamp defend it.
Yeah, it kind of came down to the wire. One of those points that evolved as one of the more popular points ever since pick bans came into the game. This cash room generally became one of those points, at least in Europe and NA, really. Ladam kind of used it as a second point a lot of the time, sometimes a third point it seems. But at the same time, it is one that if Maverick's off the board, it's very favored. It's holding control of a lot of garage, holding control of the balcony break-in. There's just a lot you can do, especially as a bandit as well.
The thing that I'm kind of surprised from Liquid here is they're not bringing the Clash and they're not bringing a Legion here, and those are 2 operators that are pretty essential to be holding on to. Maybe not essential, maybe essential is the wrong word, but pretty good for holding on to that garage area, but definitely essential when there's a Montaigne on the board here. that M-King's going to be bringing. He could easily just push all the way up the garage stairs.
Yeah. See, PSK is digging just some more holes to be able to get any score. And Nitro loops over the top, get some aggressive push, but here comes Monty. He's not having any of this. He's not having a good time. Stop shooting me, M-King is saying via the wonderful emote system built into Siege.
But the thing is he could very easily push this right now. If they know there's no Legion on the board, he could push all the way up, but there is the Echo Drone, which could pose a threat here. But I don't think he actually has a rotate hole. Oh, no, it does. Okay, so he has managed to make his way up there. There we go. That is now a potent threat to Montaigne. And no IQ on the board, of course.
Yeah, kind of gave them a lot of time to get that Echo Drone around. If there was someone to at least try and help the Monty there, kind of over the shoulder or back up just a little bit, or just hold the Monty back for an extra 10 seconds, could have pushed that a little bit more convincingly, but now obviously Echo's there paying full attention. They're starting to break open CCTV windows as well. Obviously Bandit is a big one to not to lose. Nesk is going for the Bandit trick on that thermite charge. Did not get it. That is a big open there as Sexy Cake finds a beautiful frag against the Hibana through it.
Beautiful frag indeed coming out from Sexy Cake. Didn't quite manage to get the first one tap, but definitely brought it in later. But wow! Beautiful shot coming out from Nesk. Great info coming out there from Zig. And just dealing damage here. Nesk is just being let 3. And yeah, it's not looking good at all for Bootkamp as they're struggling to find their entry. And they still can't deal with these Echo Drones at all. Boar is going to drop down rather laggily onto the eastern roof and see what he can do here to try and make things better for his team. But the fuse is still not in the hands of the attackers and they're running out of time.
Monty trying to get some sneaky shots into the feet, but nothing's really landing until Palu finds Bullet from the side. There's big cover that's going to allow the Monty just to pull up a little bit. Obviously dropping the Jaegers at the end of the world, but they have 40 seconds. So Monty has to start pushing now, and they are. Maestro's dropping off to try to loop underneath. That's actually a very clever move from Maestro, and his only escape really would have been pushed into the firefight, and they are starting to break their way from the eastern roof.
They're starting to break away from that fight indeed. Flashbangs are going to come out, making sure there's no ADSs on the site. It looks like they're going to proceed all the way in and try and go for this plant, but there's still Sexy Cake on the Maestro is around, and Paolu's going to TK Boar, but does manage to pick up 2 frags of his own. Nesk and Zig both go down. Nestasha moves in with a pistol. How does he win the fight against PSK? It just has to go for the plant immediately, but Sexy Cake still on the board here. Could still do something, but the plant is going to go down successfully. There's not a huge amount that Sexy Cake can do about this. Except from below. He's going to try and do something indeed from below. Try and open up a little bit and see what he can do here. But both attackers are incredibly low. If he could just get a pick. But he's just looking for one. All he needs is just a little bit of a tap. Just a little bit of a kiss. Let's see how he can do it. Sexy can move all the way through. Sees the full shield. Monty hears him unshield. Goes for the free fire with hipfire. Can't find it. And he does! M-King! No! He goes down. It's all down to Paolu now. But the shield is going to give him away. It's going to be look like you could just go for the diffuser. Sexy going for the pre-fires as well, making sure he can do what he can here. Pre-fires coming through in both ways, but Sexy finds a kill. But he doesn't have enough time, and Liquid unfortunately can't find that round. Bootkamp Gaming put themselves on map point.
Now, obviously they won the round again, and there's always one of those things where you criticize the team when they win a round, but you kind of question why Monty unshielded at the top of the staircase.
I think that was kind of a throw, honestly. All he had to do was just kind of block him out, because all he had to do was just sit right to the top of the stairs, full shield, and there was no way that 60k could have clutched that, but...
Goddamn frag-hungry Monties.
Frag-hungry Monties. Maybe he just reckoned that he didn't really enough time anyway, and he was kind of right. So, I guess, it's whatever. We'll see how it goes down as we move into round number 8. And we'll see Bootkamp Gaming with another attack, but it's going to be another CCTV defense of Liquid here. I don't know, like, I was a little bit overly critical of the setup to start with. I realized I don't really need a Legion here, because otherwise you can use the deployable shield to stop the Monty advance.
That's true. Kind of cuts him off at the pass, but we will see what they do now, obviously, if they're going to change up, because as I said, it was exceptionally close. And I will actually say, I believe, out of all the games and all the rounds and all the maps and all the matches we've played so far, I think that was the first time the diffusers won on time, on not being able to be used instead of frag.
Yeah, I believe it is indeed as well. We'll see how it goes down as we move now into round number 8, and we're going to see another CGV cash room defense. But the important thing to remember about this defense is that getting that east wall open is very, very essential to getting a plant down. The Bootkamp did manage to do that. They did manage to get the plant down, so kudos to them for that.
See, obviously, Zig, who was playing the Echo is a big thorn in the side of Monty's aggression up those staircase, but obviously Bootkamp played around that very well. Some pretty big frags when they got open on the east balcony. Really kind of spearheaded the whole attack there and their ability to start pushing against this point. However, Nesk, the ever-brilliant Nesk, showed up and started picking off frags. Maybe one of those went the other way, and could have been a very, very different story in the previous round. But match point 5-2. Liquid are starting to set up almost exactly the same as what they had in the previous round.
I'm kind of surprised that PSK has put down 2 soft mirrors, despite the fact that he knows that they're going to be running Zofia every single round. So we'll see how it goes down, as that is a very aggressive peak, PSK. Not sure what your situation was there.
Yeah, PSK suffered a fair bit in the shoulder, but it looks like they also gave a fair bit just before against Palu, so not quite sure.
Well, we'll see exactly how they deal with all of this. As Sexcake still holding down to the top of the garage, still has a decent amount of utility, as well as Bullet holding down to the opposite side for him. But that garage wall is going to get opened up. But for this, the Habana really should have opened up the very top of that to cut off the rotate at a very small angle.
You can see as well, Duds is playing underneath the Zofia, wants to stop any potential bandit tricking as well, but Nest at the same time has taken a fair chunk of damage. You can see Mira getting pushed further and further out of position as they start to finally blow this hit, or even pushed back into original position than anything actually, as they start to get open. And there it is, and that is a clean shot against Maestro that Palu's struggling to find at first.
Yeah, Palu's still going for those pre-fires, still desperately trying to find this kill into Sexy Cake, but he's not going to let him have it. It's still a 5v5 situation, but you know, Bootkamp have gained control, but maybe not as much as they would have liked at this stage.
I think at this point they wanted an entry frag at least. They wanted to take one of Liquid off the board, and yeah, they've put bullets into shoulders, but those can kind of be shaken off. Maestro, you can see, has rotated down onto the floor of Garage. He's going to look for a bit more of a surprise takedown there. M-King is going to start pushing from the open side, and somehow Bullet pulls out an amazing flick against an F2 that really should have cleaned up there.
That was crazy from Bullet. Just immediately shut down M-King, and poor M-King just getting it just absolutely destroyed in these gunfights as pre-fires are going to come out from inside. Does manage to wallbang Nesk, very well played from him, and he does take down the mirror window as well, so very well played from the attack there. As Bo is going to find that entry frag onto Bullet, looking pretty good for Bootkamp to try and get their entries now, but only 20 seconds left to go on the clock, and there's still Zig's Echo drone on the board as well. That's really going to prove a few issues here. Sexy Cake has returned onto the roam. Looks like the push is going to start to come through. Sexy Cake has the opportunity for vertical play as well. Nitros do go out but don't find that mark, but PSK does find his mark using the Vector, takes down Intact, and it's going to be a headshot from him. And PSK takes out another one. Does goes out of it, all down to Boar now to push in and stop this plant. But no, Palu can't successfully plant. He just gives up on it, and Liquid take round number 8 and keep themselves in this for one more round.
Well, PSK, the mirror really came in clutch there, obviously, as more and more of their defensive walls and their soft walls got pulled apart. They found themselves hiding in even the tightest of angles, and it ended up just throwing PSK on a table covered in cash and cocaine and firing down really was what they needed. But ultimately, we will see how this translates now. So 5-3, Church and Arsenal we fall back down to, and they did win this on their first round. But again, you know, you never really know how they're going to be able to pull it out. And Blackbeard is the first time we're seeing him brought to the party. Double hard destruction, so expect both the tunnel to be blown open as well as hatches. But Blackbeard, it's not the first time it's been broken because Blitz is being swapped, and Sexy Cake for Capcan. So they're going for the surprise Capcans. Obviously, Capcan, as far as being an operator goes, it's one of those ones where you put them down. There's no real risk for a potential great reward. But against a team of this caliber, teams of this caliber only normally works once. So you better hope it works.
I mean, I think that Capcan can still be pretty effective at comp level. Maybe they took that as a counter to Blackbeard in a way, because if as soon as he hits one of those Capcan traps, that's one of his shields down.
Yep.
So it can be annoying, can be also pretty good here. I'm really interested to see where these EDDs go, because I feel like they're going to go fairly far off the site, just mostly spread around this top floor area. And there we go, Sexy Cake is going to start putting them down around outside the bedroom. As we throw it into construction and looking into cash as well. Trying to put them around just in these very hidey places, just hoping that he can get some triggers off here. Maybe he's actually going to roam up here as well.
There is always the possibility, because again, one of the big things about utility and one of the big things about Siege is sound. And yeah, they might split your cap cans, but they've got to get rid of them. And a lot of the times, them shooting them and them getting rid of them is just it's a heads up if you're in the nearby area that this is where they are, and this is where at least someone is pushing. Sound is so big in Siege.
Sound is pretty big indeed. We'll see lots of drones coming out here from Bootkamp, trying to make their way in slowly but surely. And fairly interesting, fairly aggressive hold here from PSK.
It's at least going to slow down any potential. I guess maybe they expected something like Monty to kind of go up against it, because they've seen Monty, but does get Nesk, and that is Nesk straight off the table.
That is a very important pick coming out from Bootkamp. He's been one of the most consistent fraggers overall for Liquid. And it looks like the deployable shield will get destroyed. That's going to allow him to further push in, and without a smoke, very hard to hold on to this area.
Oh, this is why Smoke got taken off the table. As I said, when Liquid banned him, it's going to be because of Dirt Tunnel. But at the same time, they are the ones having to defend it now without a smoke. And, you know, there's operators and there's places where they go hand in hand. And Dirt Tunnel is Smoke's favorite little hovel in arguably the entire Siege.
Yeah, that is a two-way street indeed. We'll see how it goes down as we move further into this round. But not looking too good for Liquid. They have lost a lot of control, but maybe not as many frags as I would have maybe expected at this point.
Yeah, you can see Echo. This is Echo being used aggressively for the first time. Sexy Cake with a beautiful pickup gets the double, but unfortunately couldn't make the triple. But that was exactly what you wanted your room to do. The perfect timing to rotate. Obviously fed information from the Echo drone, who got one of the disorientating pings. And then it was just a quick follow-up from Sexy Cake to get the diffuser down and get that double and really change the tide of this round.
Bullet is just hiding in Moto. Palu has no idea he's there. Bullet just wide peeks it, takes him down, and oh, that is poor drone work coming out there. Zig takes down Duz, PSK takes down M King. Team Liquid take round number 9 and 1 round away from bringing them to overtime.
But are starting to find their feet a bit more, obviously. They're really, like the communication, is what's coming out. We always talk about it. And any caster, any game, anything related to high-level Siege talks about communication being such an integral part. And that was just a beautiful example of the collapse and execute of being given the word to go, getting the hit off from Zig, and then just pushing in.
I think most of that round just kind of went into the favor of Sexy Cake, but again, that's really poor drone work coming out from Bootkamp to not notice the Capcan Roamer and not notice Bullet playing in Moto. So kind of poor from Bootkamp in terms of drone work there, not maybe expecting a little bit more of a roam game coming out from Liquid here, but they should expect it because they did the same thing.
They did, right. And they're opting not to go to gym, but instead to go to bar.
This is probably the hardest defense. No, definitely the hardest.
It's the hardest, yeah. I mean, obviously, these are guys that I think we might have seen. We've seen them run a bar Stockholm stuff before, and they played it very well. But playing it well doesn't mean it's hard to get consistency on a point like this, because a lot of it boils down to picks, and being able to get picks in certain points, and being able to hold control. And yeah, these are some of the best fraggers in the entire Siege community. Nesk, obviously, is always up in everyone's Siege Dream Team. You've got Bullet, you've got Sexy Cake as well. But again, rolling the dice on a point like this, where you've got to trust that your fraggers can pick up those kills. We'll have to see how it goes.
It may just also be kind of those weird sites that not a lot of teams are used to knowing how to take it, and they may be able to throw Bootkamp off and bring themselves to overtime.
Yeah. Well, this kind of point where you're one down, chance to bring it to overtime. And we've seen Liquid play through an overtime after being down. As I said at the very beginning of this map, I said this is exactly how it went against FaZe. They started down, and then they started to wake up, and then they pulled it back through overtime. And that is exactly what they're setting up to do now. And again, you can see SexyCake is getting real aggressive with the ACOG P90.
And again from him, but it's going to be PSK and Zig quickly find a couple of frags. They're very, very aggressive from Bootkamp. Just M-King pushing all the way back into stock for him, but PSK finds kill onto Boar. They can't take him down, but there we go. M-King does manage to finally take him down. The fuses does go into his hands. The Echo drones do come out, and this rush from Bootkamp has just completely fallen apart. Looks like M-King was completely safe to plant there, but he's not going to be continuing to do so. Still holding it down, seeing what he can do here. Rushes out into the hallway, sees what he can do, goes for those pre-fires, but comes back. Nesk unfortunately going to disconnect, going to leave us into a 2v2. Paolo going to be pushing around onto the lobby, see what he can do here. Drones are going to come out. And just so much tactical viability here, and M-King just has so many opportunities to plant, but he's not done so yet.
The worry is obviously that Maestro camp feeding the information, and there it is. As soon as he started, Zig picked off the frag. That was, again, the information game of these guys is brilliant. They're really just letting each other know when to push, when to move, and when to go. And it is now down to Palu against the Pro 90, SexyCake, and the unstoppable Echo of Zig. But there is SexyCake getting some bullets, and again, Zig cleans up.
Very nicely played from Team Liquid to bring us to overtime. First time today. Let's see how it goes down as we'll see who starts on the defense, because everyone's been pretty good on defense so far. We've seen 4 wins on the defense, both sides.
Both sides. As you said, this is one of those maps that, you know, you say some are defender preferred, some are attacker preferred, and some teams just like defense or attack. And this is one of those maps where it's obvious that these guys are more comfortable locking down on their defense because it allows them a lot of freedom in their defenses.
Well, as I said as well, like Clubhouse as a map, despite bans, and even though these bans have been fairly defender-sided, especially that IQ ban, that is horrible to deal with.
Oh yeah.
Where there's been an Echo on the board pretty much every single round, and we've seen a lot of Legion as well. So it looks like Liquid will get the first defense, so that means they will get the last defense as well. So seems pretty much in their favor right now, which is a big parallel to see how they were doing in the first half.
Sometimes teams wake up, and Liquid, they are bringing the frags, obviously. You can kind of see on that scoreboard that some of them have really started to pick some pretty big numbers. However, it'll be interesting to see how they do the Churchill, because they lost it once. It was their one defensive round. It was one of their defensive rounds that they lost. But, oh no, in fact, no, CCTV was the one they lost. I'm completely lying to you and everyone at home. I'm so sorry. CCTV was their defensive round they lost. They won.
Don't forget, that was still insanely close.
It was. Sorry.
We're getting now into the first round of overtime. Team Liquid going to go downstairs into an Armory Lockers defense. We'll see how it goes down. As I'm not sure how this is going to go out, but as you said, both teams have been looking pretty strong on defense, and Clubhouse is normally a club. It's very Clubhouse oriented.
It is very Clubhouse oriented.
But it's also defender side.
I would say it's the most Clubhouse map
I don't know about that.
we have in Siege. But Nesk on an ACOG top floor, you can only really kind of guess how he's wanting to play this. He is looking for those picks, looking for those frags. He's actually rotated in the time I've said that. Down 2 sets of stairs. Apparently he wants to not play this on the top floor right after I say it. He was looking for those spawn peaks, and now he's gone. Well, I'm not getting them. SexyCake playing at the top of the storage stairs. And Duds again playing that Ash. But M-King is the first to open the frag. The Legion is off the board in Dirt Tunnel. And that is a lot of ground that they have potentially just got in terms of pushing straight to the door of the point. Intact has realized that as well. Going to double up in Dirt Tunnel over M-King's shoulders. And they're going to start making their steady way down. SexyCake, again, you can see getting more aggressive, wanting to start picking off and getting return frags. Duds is holding. But again, how well can you hold against a player of that caliber?
We'll see how it goes down as we do move just about halfway into the round now. And yeah, looking pretty good for Bootkamp. They've already managed to take one off the board, but Nesk is going to deal it right on back with the MP5. Just a double kill for Nesk! The Intact goes down as well as the Habana and the Twitch both off the board. That's a beautiful bit of fragging coming out from Nesk.
See, Sexy Cake knows that is just outside waiting for any kind of movement. And there's the movement. Sexy Cake waited and got the pleasant reward of murder at the end of it. Palu is trying to find Nesk. They know he's slightly low, but again, Nesk with an ACOG is a monster. However, that is a beautifully rolled grenade, and the down happens. But obviously, you have no real idea. There are no point pop-ups if you have no experience of this. They're going to roll the second, and you can see the Thermite is pushing up, but Bullet pushed and found a beautiful frag in the double against Boar.
Very insanely well played coming out from Nesk and Sexy Cake just to secure those frags where they would come through. Liquid take their first round on overtime and put themselves onto map point.
6-5 Bootcamp's defense now. As I said, both teams on the original 5-5 won 4 defenses and lost 1. So Bootcamp, this is Bootcamp's to hold and Liquid's to take on this round.
So, you know, Bootcamp and the Liquid have both had an 80% win rate on defense during this, so you'd think that Bootcamp's stand a pretty good chance of bringing this in, but I'm really surprised they went CCTV cash room because this was by far the closest defenses on both sides.
It was, and they went it once. It was their middle one. It was just before they lost one as well, and as you said, it came down to the 1 versus 1. So they've got to have a lot of faith in it.
Sexy Cake is going to 6-pick from the Blackbeard onto the Lion, from one high impact onto the next. As we see overtime match point getting underway here. Looking pretty good for Liquid to try and secure this now.
Yeah, Liquid, I mean, as I said, they're a team that can frag. They're a team that can really just take control of the game, take control of the pacing of the game, and they're very comfortable moving quickly. And there are some teams, and there are some players that struggle with their rotations, they struggle with their movements. But Liquid, Nesk, Sexy Cake, they are so confident in moving around a map and just having full confidence in the information you get from your team and the whereabouts of your opponents. It really, really can bolster frag players.
5 seconds left before
it goes through, as we will see fairly similar strategies to see what Bootcamp came out with last time. Actually, kind of surprised they're not running a clash.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really run too much of Clash. I mean, we saw a little bit of Clash. On this point, you kind of should bring her. There's no real downsides to just having a bit more control. Obviously, we've seen Intact have some great roam games as well. You've seen Intact have some great control games. Duds' positioning has been really, really good. Duds, and maybe move the Jaeger onto someone else. The Bandit is holding the Bandit trick wall ready to try and get any of East. You can see Zigger's droning it out. What they're hoping to see, staring back at the wall, I'm not quite sure. But again, having a clash at the window, having a clash at the garage stairs at this point would be such a big boon to just hold against this closeout.
It would definitely be a big boon indeed. Palu going to be holding down to construction. Lots of time wasted already. The Liquid are going to waste no more. Going to be quickly droning it out, seeing what they can find here. As M-King is going to be still holding all it down, and Echo Drones are going to rotate into the garage. Bandit tricking is still happening right now. Liquid are going to have to start moving a little bit quicker if they want to start to shut this all down. Nesk is actually going to drop silently into logistics. Going to go for this pre-fire, trying to find that desperate kill onto Palu, but can't find it just yet. Line charges do go out. It's going to be, should be a very easy kill for Nesk right now, as Zig will start to drone out. Sexy Cake all does just peek onto construction, sees what he can do here. Nesk does not find the kill. What is going on? He takes out the pistol, but no, he doesn't find the kill. It's going to be Bullet, who just managed to finish off Palu, but that's 2 members of Liquid off the board. That's the Lion and PSK both down, not looking too good for Liquid, now starting to fall apart.
You do think that Lion went off just a little bit too late? If it had gone around the time Ash was dropping in and the drone was moving alongside, that would have been a very easy cleanup for Nesk. But it came after, and Nesk was kind of in the middle of a break, trying to reload and find more comfortable ground, and just couldn't move alongside the EU1D. And then Sexy Cake pushed into construction and actually looked over the shower, but didn't hold the frag. So unfortunate loss of a Lion.
Yeah, unfortunate loss indeed. 35 seconds left to go, but Bullet will strike back. Nesk finds one of his own. That's a boar going down. There's now a 3v2. Not a lot of time left on the board to make an execute happen here. Nesk will start to drone out. Duds and M King left alone on the site. Still looking pretty good either way. Lots of intel coming out. M King and Duds both find kills, all into the hands of Bullet if he wants to bring this in. Diffuser is down, of course, and Bullet will start to push all the way in, tries to find the kill, but no, Duds with a pistol whip takes him down. Bootkamp Gaming push this into max overtime.
One more round, or round 4, arguably Bootkamp. Now, as we said, the defense and the statistics of how these guys have been playing this map, how this map has gone, do not lie. And it is surely Liquid's to lose, but hey, you never know what could happen.
You never know what can happen indeed, but it's undeniable that we have seen most defense wins, and that is still holding true.
Yeah, the diffuser has only gone down twice over all these rounds.
Definitely. Let's see how it does go down as we move into overtime match point. Looking pretty good for Liquid to try and secure the series and this particular map, but we'll see how it goes down. This has been clearly very defender-sided, we mentioned multiple times, but again, kind of surprised that we're seeing a CCTV couch room defense.
Yeah, they want to opt to go back there. They want to play there. To be fair, they were a bit more comfortable going here themselves. However, obviously, it was the one that they lost. And that is an actual fact this time. This isn't me just lying, saying it's a different point. It was the CCTV hold that they lost when they went against it. But again, you've got to try and pull out all the stops. You've got to take them by surprise. Now, their hold on it wasn't the end of the world, and they did end up taking it just after on a time. They played them out for time, so we'll see whether that translates again. Now, Monty, Glaz, Ash, Sophia, and Thermite. Really interesting balance of operators. Now, if they're going to try and push Bullet off of that east balcony wall, they're going to have to do it from underneath or get full control of Garage. Because otherwise, that Bandit is going to have generally a lot of control over how they start pushing to this point. They could try and take the firefight from the window opposite, but it's generally a bit more dangerous than being able to.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers are moving.
Yeah, it definitely is pretty dangerous to try and do that. I would expect someone to go below, or I would expect ADSs to get burned in the regular Shimu of if your ADSs are burned and you're still trying to bandit trick, you're probably going to get naded now, and you should probably run away.
Oh yeah.
So most bandits will do that, and might see something like that. I mean, there is a Sophia on the board, very easy to burn those ADSs. We'll see how it goes down.
See Sexy Cake again holding the Garrett, top of Garrett with the Maestro. M King, the monster we've seen run a fair bit, stacking up, but Glaz is actually going to take the first point of entry, already using one of the smoke grenades between the pair, trying to just find an early peek, and to be fair, that has forced Sexy Cake back to look on the Maestro. However, as we said before, Sexy Cake is a player that is happy to move quickly and rotate aggressively as well, so I'm sure that won't slow them down too much. You can already see them actually starting to push back against that garage door as well with that beastly ACOG. Now, Duds is underneath, as we said, this is what they need to do to open up that bandit wall. Just clear those bandits and make sure that they can't get on it comfortably. The mirror is on there as well, so both sides are watching both sides, and it's whoever can start getting the first push against it.
M King does manage to move all the way up onto the top of the server stairs, but as I said, this deployable shield means he has to unextend if he wants to walk through, or he can get Sophia to do it for him, but it's going to be Nesk who finds the first kill of the round. There goes Duds already, the Ash off the table. Pretty good roam game coming out from Nesk, but no refrag coming out from Bootkamp. Again, a disaster for them.
The Intact is creeping around, trying to find where Nesk is. They're droning it out too, but Nesk is happy to hold and wait and pick the second firefight. It does stop the ability to really be shutting down underneath. However, it hasn't mattered. M King finds Zig, though. That is Monty getting on the board, and that is the Echo taken off.
Great ADS skill coming out from M King there as the mirror window will get popped, and that's going to allow the members of Liquid to be a little bit aggressive with their defense now. Smokes are going to go out. That's going to signal the execute. As M King pushes all the way into the side to see what he can do, just holding it all down. There's the Maestro cam, still Palu spotting it out. We'll see exactly how it is going to go down, but it's not looking too good here for Bootkamp. They just can't seem to secure this at all. M King just blocking the defenders out now. as looks like they are going to try and go for a plant. And Board does pick up the diffuser, pops his way into the site and goes for it. But it's going to be 6. King finds the kill to Paolo. Beautiful throw of the Nitro for PSK. Takes down Bull, but Intech does manage to trade it right on back. M-King with the pistol whip finds one. Bullet trades it right on back. M-King with the ADS kill turns it into a 1v1. And Nesk just rotates out. He doesn't even want to contest it. He just runs away. M-King doesn't have enough time to cover the diffuser. And Nesk is just gone. Oh no, M-King, you could have planted. No. And
not entirely sure what is going on right now.
the game doesn't want to give up Bootkamp. They know they can win.
The game apparently,
not sure what's happened.
The game is apparently a Bootkamp fan.
Yep.
But it really shouldn't be. They're going to be fair about it. Nesk is going to pick up the kill. But hey, apparently that was such a good game. Siege itself didn't want it to end.
Some may say it was rigged.
There's no sign of fair play or rigging. Here, that was just Ubisoft having a really good time and forgetting, oh wait, the game's over now. But that is map 1 of best of 3, and it was a 7-6, as close as you could possibly get in this game.
Yeah, definitely very close indeed. Going all the way to max OT, Liquid will manage to do that. We're going to go back to a commercial break, but before we do so,